Hello everyone, this is Shatrupa and we all know that TCS is just around the corner, so we need to buckle up and get prepared for everything that we can. So today I have brought some verbal ability question. So let's have a look at the kind of question that you can get in a TCS exam. Okay, so this is the day 1 of verbal ability. So before I start with the video, I'm going to give you 30 seconds for each question. Try it yourself, and after 30 seconds I'll be solving it for you. So let's give it a try. Let's try that how things can work out, like how questions will be framed and what you need to prepare. So this is the first question where you need to change the voice of the statement. Okay, and your 30 seconds starts now. Suppose this is a very easy statement, so do it quickly. Okay, so it says the student committed the mistake. Okay, so what voice you need to change? The voice are basically passive and active, right? If it is given in active voice, change it to passive. If it is given in passive, change it to active, vice versa. Okay, so here the statement says the student committed the mistake. So what will be your change in the voice? The mistake was committed, it will go into the passive form, was committed by the student, right? So the given statement is an active form, you have to convert it into passive form, and this is how you will do it. The mistake was committed by the student. The student committed the mistake, then start from the other side. The mistake was committed by the student. Okay, if the question was the mistake was committed by the student, then what would your statement be? Your statement would start with the student. It would start from the other end. Okay, the student committed the mistake, right? So that is how you change the word. Whatever is there in the start of the sentence, that will come to the end, and whatever is there in the end of the statement, that will come to the start. Okay, here the statement started with student, so after you change the voice, it should end with student. Okay, and here it ended with mistake, so when you start the statement, it should start with mistake. So thereby it will change to the mistake was committed by the student, which is an option number 3. Right? Great. Moving on to question number 2. Again, your 30 seconds starts now. This is again change the voice, so give it a try. Okay. So it says the best coach has trained the team. Now it's ending with team. So your change after you change the voice, the statement should start with team, right? So what it will be? The team has been trained by the best coach. So if you see the question, it started with best coach, so here it is ending with best coach, and it ended with team, so here I am starting my statement with team. Okay, this is a basic concept of changing the voice. Okay, and why is not was? Because the team has, okay, has been trained, so it's already saying here has, so you cannot change the form of the statement. You can of course change the voice of the statement. Okay, so has can become has been. Okay, the team has been trained by the coach, so here your answer is in option number 4, right? So one simple rule for changing the voice, the term that is there at the end, after changing the voice, that will start with that term, and the term that is there at the beginning, that will go to the end. Okay, the end of the term will come to start, and the start of term will come to the end. Okay, like for example, here it was ending with team, so we started the statement with team, and here it was ending with starting with coach, so we ended it with the coach, right? So whatever is there in the start, that goes to the end, and whatever is there in the end, it comes to the start. Okay, that is all about change the voice. Okay, I don't think you must be facing any problem in this after knowing this little trick. So moving on to the next type of question, that is synonyms. Okay, so you have 30 seconds, give it a try. Okay. So what the word officious means? Simply remember office people always interfere. Okay? Office people always interfere. So when they interfere, the word officious means interfering. Someone who's constantly behind you to do something, okay? Like, oh, you're doing this. Oh, no, do it like this way. So, someone who's always behind you, always interfering in your life, in your work, anything, okay? The best way to remember officious is from the word office. Remember, the office people always interfere in your work, and that is how the term officious is. Officious means interfering. It isn't formal, urgent, or legal, it is interfering. Okay? Generally, we tend to see officious, we think it's legal, but no, it's not legal. It is someone who interferes. Okay? You can say that she is an officious lady. What does that mean? She is an interfering lady. She interferes in each and every matter, may that belong to her or not. Okay? So the term officious means interfering, right? Clear? This was a very simple word. So I'll change to the next synonym. This is your another synonym. Your 30 seconds starts now. Give it a try. Okay. Now vocation. Vocation. I know you people must have come across this word, vocational training. What does this word vocational imply to? It implies to your job or your occupation. Okay? So the word vocational has been derived from the word vocation, which means occupation. Okay, so your occupational training, that is vocational training. So vocation means what? It means occupation. Okay, you must have seen in multiple places that we give vocational training to girls and boys of this age for this position. Okay, so what is this vocation? Vocation is nothing but your occupation. All right, so it is in option number 4. Now, moving ahead, your 30 seconds starts now. This is the paragraph formation. Form the paragraph and you need to tell what will be the third line of the paragraph. Okay, time is up. Now, if we start reading the statement, it says, Maria reached office at 10 o'clock after sending the money. This first thing will come, she has sent the money to whom and why. So Maria's parents needed some money. After that, she spent almost half an hour at the post office. Doesn't create a link. So when she went to the bank to withdraw some money, however, she had no money with her. So there is no link. So what it can start with? It can start with Maria's parent needed money. Right? It can start with that statement. That is what all about, right? She's going to the post office. She's withdrawing money. She reaches office after sending the money. So that means what? Why did she go to post office? To withdraw money. For whom? For her parents who needed the money. So how will you start? You will start with the second line. That Maria's parent needed some money. After that, what it will be? However, she had no money with her. However, she had no money with her. So what did she do? So she went to the bank to withdraw some money. Okay, with her immediately she had no money. So she went to the bank to withdraw some money. After that, she spent almost half an hour at the post office. Maria reached office at 10 o'clock after sending the money. Got it? This should be the order. Always try relating the statements, okay? So what comes third? Third is the fourth statement. Okay? So where is your option? I suppose option 4 is only having 4. So what will be your answer? Your answer will be, so she went to the bank to withdraw some money. Alright, so this is going to be the statement. Okay, so your answer is in option number 4, that is 4. Fourth line will come in the third third position or the third line of the paragraph. Clear? Okay, so moving ahead, this is another question on paragraph formation. So you have to tell the first line. What will be the first line? Then this is very easy. Okay, so generally the first line will always start with the subject name. If you see the subject name or the person name is Peter, that is what I can see here, Peter. So the first line will always start with Peter. Then it can continue with when, he, it, after, everything can go ahead. But the first line should always begin with the subject name. And what is the subject name? The subject name is Peter, right? So it says that Peter fell down on the road due to a sudden leg sprain, and here it has Peter was shocked on realizing that his leg had lost sensation. So when will his leg lose sensation? Only if he falls down, right? So what should be the first statement? The first statement should be this one, that Peter fell down on the road. And where is it? It is in line number 5, right? So your line number 5 should be the first line of the paragraph. Okay, so always remember the first line of any paragraph will begin with the subject name. It will begin with Peter, Mary, Rome, Ram, anything. Okay, but it always has to be the name. So with this name it will start, that is Peter. Now there are two statements using Peter's. You need to differentiate which one will come first. This one says Peter was shocked on realizing that his leg has lost sensation. But why did his leg lose sensation? Because he fell on the road due to sudden leg sprain. So this fifth statement should come before this statement, okay, this first statement. So since he fell down on the road due to a sudden leg sprain, then he realized that okay, my leg has lost the sensation, right? So what will be the first line of the paragraph? First line of the paragraph will be Peter fell down on the road. Okay, so where is it? It is in line number 5. So your output is in option number 5. Your answer is in option number 5, which is line number 5 also. Okay, so it's same. So thereby your statement will be this one. So line number 5 is going to be the first line of your paragraph. Clear? Great. So moving down to the next question, you have to correct the statement. So find the error and correct it. Okay, now one basic thing that I know is I was, he was, she was, we were, they were, and you were. This is the one basic concept that we all have studied in class 4 or 5, right? So now, when it comes to neighbors, what is neighbors? Neighbor is not I, neighbors is not he, neighbors is not she. Then it can be they. Okay, it can't be we. We means inclusive of me. So I'm not there. It can't be you also. Okay, it's probably they, a group of people. Okay, so what comes along with they? It comes were. Okay, so it's written all neighbors was introduced to the bride. So where is the error? The error is in was. It shouldn't be was. What it should be? It should be were introduced. Okay, it should be were introduced. All neighbors were introduced to the bride. Okay, so your answer is in option number 4. Moving ahead with question number 8, please give the correct answer. Like you have to find the error again and you have to correct it. Okay, so your time is up. Now remember, like I was and they were, there is one difference over here as well. It goes with I don't, you don't, they don't, and we don't. But he doesn't, she doesn't. Okay, this is another pattern. Okay, I, you, they, we. These all come with don't. I don't know the answer. You don't know how to speak. They don't have the keys. We don't have any money. Okay? But when it comes to he and she, it will be he doesn't have the capacity to understand the fact that I am correct. Or when it comes to she, it is not don't, it is doesn't. So he and she always goes with doesn't. Okay, and all the rest goes with don't. So here if you see, she does not have much tolerance for hot and humid climate, then the statement is absolutely correct. There is no correction needed, because with she and he, what goes? It goes doesn't. Doesn't is always equal to does not. Okay, I suppose we know this, that doesn't and does not are the same thing. Okay, so he and she goes with doesn't or does not, and thereby this statement needs no correction. Answer is in option number 4, that is correction not required. Clear? Because the statement is correct. She does not have much tolerance. Had it been she don't have much tolerance, then you would have corrected that don't to does not. Okay, but as of now it's absolutely fine. Okay, getting down to the next question, these are certain phrases. You have to tell the meaning of these phrases. Your 30 seconds starts now. To catch a tartar, what does this mean? You have to just explain the meaning. Okay, so your time is up. So what does tartar generally means? Okay, so tartar is first thing, one of the chemical composition, one thing that we have read in chemistry, and other tartar belongs to a member of the combined forces of the Asian people, like the Mongolians, like the Turkish, all of them. Okay, so why were they called a Tartar? Because they were so unexpectedly powerful that it was very difficult to deal with them. Okay, so to catch a Tartar means to deal with someone who is extremely powerful, to deal with someone powerful. Okay, that is a Tartar. So to catch a Tartar means this. So you can say for the policemen, it was like to catch a Tartar, to catch the thief. Okay, that means the thief was unexpectedly powerful and the police had to deal with him. So it was like to catch a Tartar for the policemen. Alright, so where's your answer? Your answer is in option number 4, that says to deal with someone who proves unexpectedly powerful. Remember, Tartar is generally told to those group of Asian people like the Mongolians and the Turkish. Okay, they were so extremely powerful that it used to become very difficult to deal with them, to fight with them, because they were extremely good at their skills. Okay, so that is what it came, like they were harsh, they were fierce, and they were so tacked with power that you cannot catch hold of him. But since you can catch them, to catch a Tartar means to do a really great job, because it's a deal to prove to deal with someone who's unexpectedly powerful, right? So that's what to catch a Tartar means. Okay, deal with someone powerful. Right? Clear? I suppose you'll remember this. Okay, it's nothing difficult. And this one is everyone's favorite, I suppose. Your 30 seconds starts now. Try understanding what it's saying all in all, and give me the meaning of this statement. Alright, so time is up. All in all means that you are most important. Okay, you are all in all. That's all I want. What does this statement means? That you are everything to me. You're the most important person to me. So when someone says that you're my all in all, that means I have everything in you. Okay, so that makes you the most important person. Okay, so all in all means most important. Okay, so if you, in order to praise someone, may that be your parents, friends, relative, anyone, you can use the term or phrase known as all in all. Okay, so which means the most important. Okay, it can be anything, it can be things also, not just human beings, it can be things and animals and anyone. Okay, so basically all in all phrase tries to imply to the fact that it is the most important thing of all. Okay, because it's having everything out of everything. Okay, like you are everything, all in all, you're just everything to me. Okay, so that's what the term most all in all means, that is most important, and your answer is in option number A, the first one, most important. Okay, it's not everybody, but it means that if I have you, I have everybody, that's what it means. Okay, it's not exactly everybody, it means you're the most important person. Inclusive of? No. Feeling happy? No. Okay, it means simply means most important. Okay, just remember this, that all in all means most important, right? Great. So with this I've come to the end of this session. I have one humble request, that please like, share and subscribe to Campus Monk YouTube channel, and go find out your best course that suits you. The examination, interviews and everything are just around the corner. Don't miss out on anything. So please go try it out. I know that it will be very helpful for all of you. So don't miss out on anything that being given to you. Check out your favorite courses in the app as well. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Campus Monk YouTube channel. I'll see you people in the next class with something else. Until then, thank you. Bye-bye.